Hello, hello, hello. We are live. That's wonderful. It's a good feeling. I like being alive. I like being live too. We are got a couple of people hanging out. Pretty much what I'm gonna do is just hang for a second and then just jump right into it. Usually people tend to not file into any of these until about like 11 o'clock or so. Like 10:30, 11 o'clock, so we're hanging out. I just scarfed down a fuckload of cashews because I needed something in my stomach. Hence the awkward faces, so I apologize. Hopefully everyone is doing well today. I imagine that Amaya will be here at some point in the near future to answer any questions that people might have. Right. How's everyone doing in the chat? Everyone doing well? Okay, enough fucking around. Let's go ahead. Just get started. Why not? What's that? Pin Prime's music it says, "Hey there, I missed the live streams. It's been a while." It has been a little bit. It's been a while since I could hold my head up high. Anyway, yeah, it's been a little bit. I've been super busy with a whole bunch of projects that are not music related, so I haven't really felt the need or the want to really stream a whole bunch of them. Just because I don't know, like, if that's something that people would be interested in. So I don't know. I could be completely wrong, and people might be interested in that. But it's a lot of like creating like assets and advertisements, specifically for like the company Modern Metal Songwriters. I did their most recent product launch, the Phil Plaskota Sonic Assault Studio IR pack, which has been pretty widely. It's been pretty successful so far, which I'm super stoked on. But yeah, I've mainly been just working on video stuff. So not many audio clients in the past like 3 or 4 months, aside from one Burning Bodies track. So yeah, I've just been kind of chilling, getting a whole bunch of projects finished. So that's where I've been. I'd like to do these ones more. It's just a matter of like figuring out what your audience wants to watch and what you want to do. So I might actually, and I've been talking about this with my wife. Kind of, she's my consultant. I've been asked, talking to her, like, what if I did a second channel that was more geared towards the videography stuff? That way, I could do all the streaming of the videography stuff as well, as long as it doesn't interfere with any sort of like NDAs or anything like that. But yeah, I don't know. If that's something people want and are interested in, I would love to do that, because I know there's a lot of crossover between the video stuff and music, especially with like a lot of like independent guitar players and musicians doing stuff for their social media. Like, there's a lot of things that I could show people that would help them in their creative endeavors, to get better videos on the socials. So I don't know. It's just a thing I've been thinking of. But for now, let's talk about this track by Amaya. All right. This one's a little bit different than the other two songs. This one feels a little bit more like a jam track almost, because it's, you know, you got pretty like simplistic elements in the background and more jamming in like, you know, like melodic ideas between the saxophone and his lead guitars. So yeah, let's just go ahead and play it and we'll see how we do. Oh, this is, stop playing. This is also, I did the production on this track as well, which is something if you guys are interested in going over, I can do that as well. I could tell you why I added certain elements here or there, wherever, whatever you guys are interested in. So I did the production on this, post-production, all of this stuff down here, little shakers and swells and notes and whatnot. So we can go over that too. But this is like generally just leveled and a very like small initial mixing moves done. Today is going to be mostly about cleanup and automation. And then some additional, like maybe some creative choices as well, because he sent me this track without all of these lead guitar layers. And also it was before the archetype Plini X was released. So I got some of these Plini, just regular archetype Plini instances. I may try and switch out and see if we can't find something that's going to make it sparkle a little bit more. So yeah, let's just dig into it. So, um, there's got to be some automation with the drums. Like it's a very, very dynamic track. And I don't want the snare. Like I noticed that the snare was definitely stepping on the toes of the sax solo here. Because we have. So here's my snares. And we got this very like soft snare for so long, and then when it kind of comes in here. It gets a little bit too rowdy almost. I think just for the context of that section, really, not on anything else necessarily, but. Little bit of compression in there, VCA. Maybe try a FET actually. I like the VCA. The VCA is a little bit brighter. Some even saturation on that sounds good. Let's see the kick. The kick sounds pretty good to my ears. I think again we're just gonna do some automation and get that kind of leveled in. One of the challenges with this particular mix, and a lot of like Ameya's mixes in general, is that he likes a lot of lush guitar layers, lots of delays, lots of reverbs, which can kind of overwhelm some instances. So you have to make sure that when you're working with a track like this, your panning, your leveling, and automation are on point. I've actually had to dial back some of the delay in some of these clean guitars because they were just kind of like making more of a wash rather than like a melodic idea. So we can start there, I think, and start doing a little bit of carving. Also, Ameya likes using single tracks, and then what I'll do is grab a doubler, usually from like the Archetype Petrucci, so that way I can get that faux double left and right. So you have to be cognizant of like the spacing in these like the 12.9 milliseconds versus like 6 or whatever. So like it becomes more or less of a stereo idea. Like, to me, that sounds about where it needs to go. Would it be better to have, like, especially for, like, rhythm guitars, I think it would be better to have individual tracks left and right that played the exact same way, but different takes. But, you know, this is what we're gonna work with, you know? Okay, maybe I'll go back to the drums, actually. Let's listen through and just see. Let's just listen to what we have so far. Hey, Ameya, how you doing? Let's also get something in here. Let's get a high pass going. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Like that. Hey, no worries, Ameya. It's all good. David Durden. Appreciate the compliment for Ameya's track. He says, good song. Yeah, Ameya. No worries. I've barely just started, really. We've gone through, kind of talked about a little bit of the track, a little bit of the timeline of like delivery. Like we're gonna kind of mess around with the archetype Plini X on some of these tracks. I was actually very, very stoked. The archetype Plini it just sounds great. The Plini X sounds great, and I'm very, very stoked that they finally got that out there. So yeah, so what we could do, depending on what you guys feel, we could just go right into the mixing stuff, which I've already kind of started to do. I think the drums need a little bit of automation, a little bit of EQ, maybe some dynamics control. We got to shape some of these guitar layers into the mix so they're not overwhelming the parts. The sax is pretty much where it needs to be, honestly. Like I'm actually treating the saxophone sort of like vocal layers. In which case all I really do is just dynamics control and then just make sure that it's not getting stepped on by any of the other instrumentation. We also have all the post-production stuff that I added, so we can always go through that. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So whatever you guys feel like we're going to do, if you have questions, obviously leave them in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer whatever you guys are interested in. So yeah, Maya says, indeed it does. I'm very happy with the update regarding the Plini X. It's good. I'm not, okay, so this is my personal take. I don't like the interface quite as much. It looks cheap, almost. Like, and this is totally like a personal thing. I completely understand. Let's mute this. I just want to like, I'm just gonna lay my cards on the table real quick for just a moment. I didn't uninstall the first one, so I actually still have both instances. But there's something about the like, just as a like this the original. I think this particular image just looks so much better, less flat than the update. Personally, I kind of, oof, yeah, the old one you had to go through and cycle. That's right. I mean, I don't love that. I love that you can click and drag. This is the first one that you can actually just click and drag rather than having to like click the button, small, medium, large, etc. Which I love that. I don't like the look of this first amp. The second amp looks all right. I thought this first one looked just fine, but I imagine probably because of the archetype Tim Henson, they probably wanted to try and do something kind of fancy. You know, like this is sort of like an Eclipse, I think. Let's see. Can I get rid of that? Holy shit. Maybe. Let's see. Pin Prime's music. There was a trick, by the way, for cases like this. You can reamp the guitar DI with flipped phase, and it don't lead to cancel in mono. Oh, yeah. It's quite possible. I find the doubler actually works really, really well for that instance, which, you know, I'm glad that they added that to the new archetype Plini. I just think aesthetically, like they improved this third amp, definitely. You know, with like the moons, the half moons, etc. That looks really nice. This looks obviously nice. I don't know. I think just the overall UI looks a little cheap almost. But who am I? I'm just a guy talking on the internet. So anyway, now that I've got that out of the way, it does sound great though. Let's get this drum swell in a little bit nicer. So this is at -659. Let's get that at -6, just half dB. Okay, so yeah, Amaya says, Stephen, I would love to hear your thoughts on this track in particular and all the other tracks on this EP. Has your experience been any different? So I think I like this track. It's different than the rest, so I had to kind of recalibrate my expectations because this feels a little bit more like a jam track than like a song, right? So like your other songs had very strong melodic lines, top lines to kind of like pull everything together. Um, that's kind of being held down by the saxophone in this, which is nice. Um, there's a nice solo section. I like the different layers that you had in here. Um, it, I like it. Overall, I like it. I think that some of the other songs might be stronger singles if you wanted to like if you know release them on like Spotify or something like that. I think maybe like Foxgloves is probably I think the strongest as far as like catchiness. Whereas this one is very introspective and rightfully so. Like, you know, I don't think that this is a bad song in any way, shape, or form. But I think it's definitely more introspective. It's a little bit more melancholic. Like I could see this being like the third track on the EP, and people love it. You know. Oh my gosh. My parents are in Rome right now, so I'm getting buzzed every like 2 minutes with pictures and notifications and all sorts of stuff, which is great. But I really like the saxophone lines. There's like one note that really kind of tripped me up when it was like went from like a flat 3 or something like that. It's in here. It's in this chorusy section. Right, it's that tension note. That was another one I had to kind of get like my ear wrapped around. But I think it's good. The drums are always solid. So yeah. Yeah, man. I'll always give it to you straight. I'll always tell you if I don't like something. I like it. I think that there's great moments in this song. I think I like my personal choice. I think I love Foxgloves Amethyst the best, but maybe that's just because that was the first song that you and I got to work on. So maybe that just sort of like set the standard in my brain. I don't know. But I love this song. It sounds great. It's very chill. Yeah. Played a different key, and that came from the saxophone player. I think it works nice. I wasn't expecting it, I think, and that's what like threw my ear for the first like couple of times I listened through, because I was like you haven't had that in any of your tracks yet, so it threw me when I initially heard it. But it sounds great. Um, let's see, where was I at? Oh yes, I was working on the drums. So let's take a listen. Hey, what's up, AJ? How you doing, Dieter? Just working on this track here. This moment was pretty fun, a pretty cool moment. To give your mix to anybody who's mixing out there, like I thought, like normally I'm doing some of these moves that a lot of people already know, where you have like a high pass and a low pass filter to kind of like, you know, not sort of lo-fi your drums, you know, kind of get them sounding a little bit smaller. But I didn't do the automation to make this low pass filter kind of rise up. I really just what I really wanted was for when the drums come in at like measure 17, I wanted them to like, wow, like just suddenly be super wide and big. I did have to automate the low end because the drums have like this kind of cool fill that I wanted the low end to really bounce out. But like if you listen to this, like especially on the drum or on the snare drum. AJ says, doing solid, just trying to get as much gigs as I can. I'm going to be A1 for the cross country championship over at Pepperdine, which was random when I got the offer, but cool as fuck. That's awesome, dude. I feel that, man. Just trying to get as many gigs as possible. Yeah, I get that, man. I have, let's see. So I have Amaya, Albert, Burning Bodies as mixing clients. Just finished up a Burning Bodies track, like 2 months ago, I think. So that's music, mixing stuff. For video stuff, I just finished up filming and editing the IR Pack advertisements and interviews for the Modern Metal Songwriters channels. I have more filming and editing coming up in November. I'm actually going to Florida so I can film a course with Modern Metal Songwriters. And then what else am I doing? I'm going to NAMM in January, which is going to be sick. I'm going to be hanging out with the dudes in Doth, filming some stuff with them. I got so much on my plate. I got audiobooks to edit. Like, there's just like the level of hustle that you have to have in this industry is just insane. Amaya says, sounds fantastic. Yes. And the production elements on that moment with the synthesizer is epic. I appreciate that, man. That was actually a lot of fun. I can run you guys through some of the elements that I created for this part. Let's just do keys. Yeah, keys and FX bus. Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. It's been a freaking long ass journey. Like, it's one of those things where you're working for like a year and maybe only 4 of those months are actually financially good for you. And then suddenly like it just sort of like the momentum kicks in. So yeah, I appreciate that. We've been working hard, both my wife and I. So this is a cool little element. I have like, some swells and this little like drop thing that happens, and not like a sub drop, but like you'll hear. I'll just play this post-production stuff that I made. Right, so I wanted to create some impact there. I tried like some sub drops, I tried some like impacts, but this sort of like tonal dong, like that to me was like what really kind of set that moment apart. And then I had like this reverse twinkle. Yeah, it just sounds great. I was very stoked with that. What else did I add? I added some strings, space strings. Yeah. It hits hard. And like, to me, the hardest part about post-production is it's not about like creating layers. It's creating layers that functionally emphasize the good things in a song. Because I mean, you guys have no idea how many actual layers, like I created like 20, 30, 40 different layers, like of like synths and like ideas. And I deleted most of them because they all sucked. Like, because they just didn't work within the mix. So like this little space strings, right? So that is kind of during that's during a kind of silence when you have these guitars here playing mainly by themselves. And I wanted to have something kind of eerie come in the background just to supplement. So without that, Amaya asks, is this sort of minimalist approach consistent across the genres of songs you mix? Absolutely. I think a lot of people don't ask what's appropriate. I think a lot of people get sort of their egos involved in creating post-production. And I mean, I won't say that having lots of tracks is equivalent to not knowing what a song needs, right? So there's tons of people I know personally who have the mind to be able to create all of these things that interlock together to make it good, right? I'm not as good. So instead of me trying to just rely on layers and layers and layers and layers and layers, I would rather just focus on the things that really kind of like emphasize a moment or an emotion or something along those lines. So for me, because I'm not that sort of top tier that has the mind to, create all of these disparate layers that actually work within a song, I focus mainly on like that 20% of the effort that's going to give me 80% of the results, right? So like I have that string layer. I have the little reverse twinkly thing that leads back up into it. I used a lot of the same like cymbal reverse swells, and then the drops. I got a little shaker in here. I did put like a short sub drop at this part here. We can listen to that. All right, so like very subtle. I don't even know if you guys can really hear that. And then the shaker. Yeah, very simple. Again, use the doubler trick to get that kind of wide. I didn't want that in the middle, not at all. Because I wanted like, so you have, you got a lot of ghost notes on this snare track, lots and lots of ghost. So you have. Right. So I didn't want the shaker, and like we actually talked about this when I got these layers approved by Amaya. He didn't want the shaker to kind of override the ghost notes. So having them in stereo, so that way the ghost notes still kind of pop through in the middle and in the center channel was kind of important. So getting these stereo, far left and right. I could even push this a little bit further too if I want to, but I'll leave that for another moment. Let's see. What else did I do? Let's see. I put in some little piano chords here as well. Thank you, Amaya. He says, I really like how these small elements are coming together in the mix. Great job on the production, Stephen. Much appreciated. Yeah, again, I don't know, I think minimalism is a thing that's been on my mind for a long time. in my music, as well as like production, as well as just my life in general. Like what are the things that I want to have um going on, you know? I'm sure we can get rid of that because I'm not using it. Amaya says, I remember only asking you to trust your judgment on the mix, and this is absolutely amazing. Thank you, man. Um, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that level of trust. And that's something that I take very, very seriously with my work. Because ultimately, like, you know, you kind of live and die by the trust that your artists have in you. Like, if I wasn't communicative, if I wasn't open, if I wasn't, you know, giving the feedback that you needed, and I was still like as talented as I am, I feel like that would be just not a good working relationship. I think I've been reading a new book recently. I think the statistic was like 56% of your career success relies on you being emotionally capable of navigating relationships. So, something along those lines. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Because I mean, how many times have people worked with like an absolute dickhead, you know, but they're super talented, but because they're a dickhead, like they don't get the job anymore. Like, you know, I like I like when I have good artist relationships. It's really, and they may seem like such a simple things to say, like, oh yeah, like having good artist relationships is good. Like, yeah, of course, but it's hard. Like it's hard. It's a hard thing to maintain at times. Um, not with the man, because the man is awesome, but you know, it's work, it's effort. So, cheers. All right. So that's essentially the production layers. I wanted some good moments to supplement the song, like this little piano layer. I wanted some moments to emphasize like dynamic shifts. So like here, I actually put an impact as well because I wanted something to kind of fill out the space. And then if you hear it in the mix. And then without. Right, it's just something kind of airy, something that just like kind of fills out and helps that sustain, right? So like instead of just a straight drop, you have that like in the background. I love it. All right. I think that's pretty much what I got. I did a little reverse drop over here at the end. I do feel like, okay, upon listening to this today, there might I'm gonna do some mixing, but I either through automation or and maybe an additional synth layer or something like that. This ending section has got to be a bit more epic, because I feel like you got this great build up to it. It might be something I mess around with today. Who knows? But I feel like this very end section is kind of like it's too similar in energy to this earlier section. But again, that might just be some automation, maybe bringing the drums up a little bit so they hit a little bit more, a little harder into some of the compressors that I got running. So, okay, so that's the production. Let's go back to some of the mixing. I want to get the drums sounding awesome, the bass sounding awesome, everything sounding awesome. What is happening here? It's not liking something I got going on. How many plugins do I have going right now? Sorry guys, this is usually like the part where I get like, oh, you know what? Here, let's take all these off. Crosshair, Newfangled. I don't even know if those are contributing to. There we go. That's a bit better. I was hearing a little bit too much of the kick room, like some of those like low end notes filtering into the drums. So let's keep going. Hearing some like overtones that I'm not digging around, was it 900 hertz? That right there. So let's try 1800. That's good for now. There we go. I can hear it somewhere. It's driving me nuts. There it is. Oh, that's just a. I started hearing a siren in the background. There we go. All right, so cleaning up the bass, getting some stuff leveled, sounds pretty good so far. The drums sound a little bit cleaner. That like 900 hertz for some reason was just poking through like this like kind of whistly sound. So yeah, had to eliminate that. So let's get that. Okay. Absence Within says, hi, how's it going? Things are going well, man. Do a little bit of mixing today on this track by Amaya, who's also in the chat. If you have questions for him, if you have questions for me, please feel free to ask. Yeah, things are great, man. How about yourself? Everything going good? Give you a little bit of what I'm doing right now. I am locking in the low end between the kick, toms, and bass. So actually what I'm going to do for myself, I'm going to lock in. Sounds pretty good. I think I need to turn this back off again, actually. Let us do that same thing with this. You're good. Awesome. Fantastic, man. That is always the best place to be. But no, I appreciate you stopping in. Appreciate all y'all stopping in. This is good stuff. Fun. I have fun. Let's see, where am I at? Okay. So I've done a little bit of rebalancing, so now I need to do more rebalancing. Got it. That's what I need to do. So let's go ahead and let's go through. Let's mute the entire keys group, which is all of my sax stuff, all my post-productions. Mute the FX group. Yes, I am. So I'm about to get into some of the guitar stuff right now, which is gonna have all the Archetype Plini X stuff. So like all of these leads have the Archetype Plini X. So I'll just play it first. Sounds great. Also, Amaya's playing makes it sound great, so can't discount that for sure. All right, so let's go back to the beginning. Start balancing in these guitars. Let's start with the clean guitars, and then we'll get to the leads. Yeah, see, I think those intro guitars are a bit loud now that I've got. I feel like I didn't really change that much. think probably just changing the first, like, 3 decibels, yeah. Let's see. I think actually what I want to do, I want to put a gate on this. Yeah, Absence Within. I think Amaya is still in the chat. This is his third and final song off of the current EP that we are working on. I'm loving it, man. This has been a great amount of fun to work on. Amaya is quite a fantastic songwriter. Okay. I wonder if I don't have a better reverb. What if the smart reverb is good? Sounds like a sneeze. There we go. So I just don't want the ghost notes to get picked up by this reverb, because I really only want to emphasize the loudest hits. Because I like a tame ghost note, right? So like ta 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 ka ta 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 ka, like, so putting I don't think I've ever put a gate in front of a reverb before. That's fun. It's good stuff. Let's see if I can't. Okay, I'm digging that. I'm digging that. Nice. It's a nice little touch there. A little seasoning almost. Okay. Let's go back. Listen to more of the guitars. I feel like this one might need to be. Oh, yeah, that one is. Wait, hang on a sec. Wait a second. Did this fuck up? Tell me this fucked up. So I have Archetype Petrucci with the doubler on. Oh, I fucked up. This is supposed to go stereo. There we go. That's what nonsense is happening. So, although this is actually like a cool moment to take, to look at the Archetype Plini update, because we have the Plini X. Actually, I'm actually genuinely grateful that they didn't get rid of the Archetype Plini update, or the original Archetype Plini. That this is just almost completely new software to be used. So CS Clean Guitar 5. This even uses all of the same presets, so you could just lock those in, and it should be a 1-for-1. So let's go ahead and put on the doubler. And original Archetype Plini. Pretty similar. All right, I like it. Let's just go ahead and get rid of the Archetype Plini and the Archetype Petrucci because I don't need them. I can just literally just have the one plugin on now, which is awesome. Fantastic. All right, so let's get back to leveling. there's a couple of parts that are gonna need some heavy automation. Okay. Okay. Let's actually, I'm gonna duplicate this group. Yes. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, here's what I'm gonna do. I want to affect and limit the background lead layers separately from the background, or from the lead. So that way I can affect like these. Right? I want to do that all together. What I might do, I actually might try using Flatline 2. Not Flatline. I want Flatline 2. Flatline 2. According to Armin's tutorial, the limiting should never be used as the final limiter on like a mastering bus. The limit is more for mixing use cases. Whereas it's more like that sort of like 90s brick wall limiting that's going to just like kind of not let anything past that layer. So if you use it in the mastering context, I assume it's probably going to introduce a little bit too much like distortion or artifacts to your sound. I'm guessing that's what he was intending for it to be. But what I really want for this is just to kind of bring up and level out the solo, because it's very dynamic. It kind of goes across a lot of different octaves. So what I'm hoping to do with this is it just bring everything to the foreground and make it a little bit like float a little bit more on top of the mix. Yeah. That's kind of what I'm looking for. I want everything to just be like right in your face. Okay, so this is an interesting part. Amaya sent me. So this is the lead track here, guitar lead 01. He sent. This is essentially just the same track, just doubled. He just copy pasted it, and the moved it around slightly, kind of get that Haas effect. He wanted it to be a little bit, just kind of layered. He wanted this end section of the solo to be massive. So now I kind of get to like mess around with the tones a little bit with the archetype Plini, and see where we can get without creating a lot of phase. Because I have a couple of ideas, right? So for the lead track, you know, it's pretty straightforward. I'm using the third head in the archetype Plini X, and I want it big, but I don't want it messy, if that makes sense. So we have to find that that balance between the two. So I got like, you know, yeah, there's that. So what I'm thinking is, instead of having like a duplicate in the middle that's going to throw phase off, what I've done is I have put on the octaver, the compressor, and then upped the delay to its maximum. Actually, hang on. Let me turn off the delay real quick, and I just want to listen to what this sounds like with just the octaver and the direct level all the way down. Okay, I think I actually make that. That's the move. Yeah. Okay. Because if I don't use the octaver, it's just gonna sound like this, right? Right, it's not quite the same with the doubler, with the octaver. Let's take a little bit off of that. There we go. That sounds pretty cool. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I like that. this rhythm guitar is taken a little bit away from the solo, so I'm just going to put a track spacer on this and then send my lead channel over to my sidechain. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let's continue on, I suppose, and get to the keys group. Anybody have any questions out there? I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. Otherwise. Thank you, man. Thank you, Amaya. Let's see. I wonder if I can do some panning to make this a little bit wider. So, like, I have stereo tracks here, but they're the same left and right. And I also have different microphones. So the individual who recorded this recorded 2 different microphones, a Royer and let's see, like a warm audio something or other. Don't know. So I'm wondering if these layers can be panned. I think they have to be panned together if I have same microphone. You know, I would have to have them pan together. But let's just fuck around with this. So link selected channel. Let's link the pan as well. Link. Because my thought is for this section, I really kind of want I just want to get like a little bit more width on it. But they're not the same though. So we are at kind of an interesting impasse. How did I have this going? What did I do? Oh yeah, that's right. I had to send. Okay. Maybe just getting these last two layers kind of in here slightly. Oh my God, it's so obnoxious. Slightly off center might give it a little bit more width. Let's see what this sounds like. That's centered. Also, thank you, Amaya. I appreciate you saying that. It says loving the solo tones that you crafted. I'm digging them so far. You know, it's funny. I've never been a huge fan of that third head until the update, and this is all pretty much just like I literally just changed the gain. Like I took the preset that you sent for the main lead. I think you had selected the second head. I changed it to the third because I wanted the distortion and a little bit of the compression from the distortion or the gain. And I wanted a layer that sounded very different from the others, so that way there was a little bit of contrast. And then yeah, I really didn't touch much aside from just turning down the gain a little bit because I didn't want it to be like a screaming lead. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that. All right. I need to automate the lead up into this. It's a little bit loud. That's better. Okay. It says, what would be your recommendations to now take this set live? What would your advice be to me in terms of next steps? I mean, the next steps, figure out what you need as a backing. Like, choose the layers that you want to represent what you're playing, and then take them out of the mix. Well, yeah, essentially just take, just make sure that you have like, because I'm assuming that if you play this live, you're going to be using your presets in the archetype Plini and whatnot for solos and rhythms. So that's my assumption. So like, it would be a matter of like choosing what layers you want to play throughout the song, and then like obviously you're gonna play the lead main guitar solo. So like when we do stem exports, like I'll for like live sessions, I'll take that out of the mix. And then like if you're playing like a rhythm here or there, so that way the sax can come through, then I'll mute those. So yeah, you just kind of have to figure out like what you want to play out of this, and then we can like figure that out afterwards. But yeah, if you're doing a live set, take the stems, we'll mute out what you're not playing, and then you would use those as your backing tracks. So, all right. Is this the same? No. It's not the same. But it's close enough that... Yeah, it's close enough that I'm getting a little bit of a monoization. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to unfreeze this track. Okay. Yeah, of course, man. Anytime. Yeah, whenever it comes down time to knock this into a thing that you're playing live on. Ah, there we go. Yeah, whenever it comes time for you to knock this into something that you're gonna play live, like let me know and I'll work out the mechanics for you. That won't be a problem. I'm pretty sure we already exported some stems for Foxglove's Amethyst. If we need to do that one, like if we need to re-export those stems, I'll need to figure out something about ganking a Pro Tools session from somebody or whatever, but because I don't have that subscription anymore. Yeah, I like that. Okay, it's just a matter of scooching that one back a little bit. Let's keep moving on. So we could work out stems for those ones for sure. Won't be a problem. Minel says, digging this, Amaya. Did you program the drums? I believe he did. I'm pretty sure that's like one of the things he likes doing for sure. I'm pretty sure he programmed the drums. But he just exported them for me to use because honestly, like I really do enjoy that I don't have to worry about Amaya's programming. Like everything here is solid and it sounds great because I know he takes the time to like do all of like the little notes, little ghost notes, like little variations in like velocity so that way it feels like a real player. All right, how are we feeling about this? This sounds pretty good so far. I think I'll listen through it one more time, see if I hear anything that's glaring, and then maybe break for lunch in a little bit. So let's go ahead and listen through the whole thing, see where we're at. Thank you, Amaya. All right, so this is sounding really good. What I want to do now is mess around with this hybrid mode in Flatline 2 to see what I can do. I've turned off my bus processor. This is normally on all the time. This is what I use to kind of like dial in the levels for like, cause I kind of know where generally my kick and snare are at once they start pumping the compressor. Yeah, I know. All right. So I'm going to take the bus processor off and see what just Flatline 2 can do. So the way that this hybrid mode works is it splits the steady state sound and the percussion into like two different audio signals essentially, and then treats them both differently. So you have like the envelope filter, the look ahead. So it's really quite a fascinating. It's quite a fascinating way of going about it. Let's turn the color all the way off. I don't want this to be saturating my stuff. Let's give it a shot. I was almost a little surprised. I mean, I shouldn't be. When the band comes in, it just suddenly just like, bah! Damn. I'm really, really impressed with this flatline too. I mean, I know I would be because it's Ermin Haminovich. It sounds great. Ominal says, sounds really cool. Digging the song and the mix. Thank you, man. I much appreciate it. Yeah, I'm liking the song as well. It sounds awesome. I love the flatline too. I love Plini X. Everything's going pretty good, actually. Sweet. So I'm not quite done with it. I still feel there's I still feel there's a lot of automation that needs to happen between sections just to make sure everything flows really well. I feel really good with like how I got the lead guitar and the solo, the sax solo to stand out throughout all this. I may still potentially put in some sort of element at the end, kind of to get it bigger, you know, maybe just some like low synth or something like that, low wide synth. I don't know. I'm kind of like I want that climax to be like epic and massive. So I don't know. We'll fuck around with that on another day. Might do another stream on this one. I know I have another client who sent me some tracks too, so I'll try and get him in here in the rotation. He's having me remix a track of his, putting some live drums in there, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, I guess that's where I'll call it because I am getting hungry. Boom. That should have gone over, yep, to my good old face cam. Yeah, I just want to say thanks to everybody who hung out today. Y'all are awesome. Amaya, thank you so much for hanging out, dude. I always appreciate you being here and answering any questions. Oh, my pleasure, Pin Prime's music. I do sincerely enjoy these streams. I say that every time, but it's always true. This is my way of like, this is me getting my socializing in because I get to like chat with people. Otherwise, I'm just here in my cave, not with the lights on at least, but you know, I got a lot of like natural light during the day. But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Appreciate all the questions and the interactions. So yeah, let's go ahead and call that a day for today. And yeah, we'll catch you all in that next stream, video, project, whatever. Love y'all. And yeah, thank you, Amaya. We'll check y'all soon.